What's going on, Mama? Hope you had a great Christmas. Come back in this morning, got the hood buffed. Got it buffed with the wool pad on the rotary. I can see the light haziness in it that a wool pad leaves. On the camera, it looks pretty doggone good as far as done, but the point of the wool pad, number one, is to get your scratches out. And number two, the wool pad's gonna leave a cut, hazy section. So I'm gonna go over it with the Grits Garage. This is their wool pad, microfiber wool. I'll go over it and it'll knock out the scratches from the rotary wool, and then I'll go back over it with their next stage up, which would be a foam pad, and that'll really put a shine on it. I'll go ahead and finish this out because it's a little bit harder to reach once it goes back on the truck, as far as like along the back and stuff. So but I'm gonna have to flip it over and cut and buff the underneath too. Y'all stay tuned. All right, Mama. So we got the hood turned over. I was gonna go through and just try to nib the spots, but you know what? By the time I nib, I'm gonna be all over the place anyway. So I'm just gonna cut it down with 2,000, 3,000, and then buff several little bitty spots. I hate to get up into that nose part, but got to get the trash out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some measurements. 3 up the side, 3 up the middle, and 3 up through here. 9 spots. And I'm going to cut it down with 2,000, and we'll see what we got. 228. That one I wasn't flat. 229. 248. 271. 246. 248. 288. 238. 224. All right, what I'll do is I'll add all those numbers up, divide them by 9, and they'll tell us what our overall thickness is down to the bare metal. Now all this will do is tell us how far down to the bare metal that we are, or how far above the bare metal. I'm thinking that it's, I don't know what's under the paint. I didn't do the body work so on this truck, so I don't know. But we'll do an average, and I'll come back tell you what the average is, and explain a little bit. All right, so all those numbers up, all of those numbers added up comes to 2,220 microns is what I measure in. Divide that by 9 different spots. That gives us an overall measurement of 246 microns. Okay. A meal is 25.4 meals. So you divide that by 25.4. That comes up to 9.71 meals of thickness. Okay. If you don't know what a meal is the thickness of a cellophane wrapper on a cigarette pack. The average garage uses a trash bag that is 3 meals thick. The house trash bags are on an average of a half a meal to 1 meal thick. Most of the time they're a half a meal. Mine in the kitchen are half meal. They tear easy. But my shop trash bags are 3 mils thick. So I like to do microns. So if we go back to 246.6 microns is what the average was, I'll cut down and measure in microns again, and that'll tell us how many microns 2,000 grit cuts off. Stay tuned. All right, so I wet sanded with 2,000, and then I took Trizac on that DA, went over it. See what we got. 218. I didn't hold my thing. Didn't hold it exactly flat. 217. 239. 263. 246. 240. 265. 225. 203. If you'll notice, some of those were a little bit higher than the initial ones. But like I said, you don't know what type of filler or primer or whatever's underneath that spot. So let me calculate those. I'll be right back. All right, so this is what we come up with. 2116 divided by 9 different spots, divided by 25.4. Oh, I did, yeah, 25.4, but it was 246. Subtract the 235. So we've taken off 11 microns. Remember, 1 mil is 25.4. So we took off about a half a mil, not even quite half a mil. But now I'll check it again. We'll compound this section and I'll check it again. All right, Mama, we're back. Wet sanded all the edges, got the trash out, and then I have buffed this. I'm just gonna get some measurements, see how much the buffing took off. $212, $216, $224, $229, $240, $226, $253, $224, $199. All right, Mama, let me get you back in here. So I looked back through the video. Before any cutting and buffing, the measurements was 246, which that's in microns. Then after I cut it down with 2,000 grit and went over it with a 3,000, that brought it down to 235. So we're looking at 11 microns is what it cut off. And then I buffed it with a wool pad compound, and then went over it with the Grits Garage machine with their compound, and that got all the fine scratches out of it from the rotary wool pad, and that brought it down to 224, which knocked another 11 mils off of it. Not mils, microns. So total we cut 22 microns off this clear coat. Now, I just started with 2,000, like I said. If we had went really, really harsh, 800 or 1,000, that would have cut it on down. But I mean, this is under the hood. All we're trying to do is just get the trash out. So a total of 22 microns is what we've cut off and polished. So check your trash bags, see what they show as far as how thick they are. They should be a half a mil, and you'll get an idea. Not a half, yeah, half a mil. A micron, 1 mil is 25.4. I'm stumbling all over this. So we knocked off 22 microns, which is not even 1 mil. 1 mil is the thickness of your cellophane paper wrapper on your cigarette pack. Like I said earlier, you just have to check it out. But this is a good little tool. I bought that one from off eBay several years ago, and it really works good because, like I've said, if somebody comes in, like take my son's Trans Am, if he was to come down here and say, "Dad, I wanna do some paint correcting on it," well, then you need to know what somebody else has put on. You need to get a measurement of how far it is to the metal before you start sanding and cutting it off. And that little tool right there will save you some heartache, because let's just say, well, I mean, like this last spot right here was 199 microns, and still that's several mils thick. But let's just say it was 30 microns, and you know that a mil is 25.4 microns. You would know something was really, really, really thin. So anyway, I hope this helps somebody.